Hello, 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 everybody. How's everybody doing today? Can y'all hear me? See me? Let me know. Let's see who else in here. We got Yvonne. Hi, Sue. Hi, Jeremy. Hi, Kathleen. So glad you can make it. Hi, Robin. Hi, RD. I know there's a few more in here. I'm missing somebody. I'm doing good, Yvonne. How are you? It's decided to turn a little bit cold and it's rainy out there and just I don't like weather like this. It makes me sleepy. I could sleep for the next 20 hours when the weather's like that. See, Sue? Look, you got a designer. That pattern's gorgeous. Just absolutely gorgeous. So, how many of you all got to attend Sunday's class, whether it was in class or watch it later? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Oh, Yvonne, you'll do fine. Anything you want to make is fine. I did get some stuff for the wedding today. And this is the start of my little workload. This is the ring pillow I got. Y'all see that? And I've got to add a little pizzazz to it. But these are her flower colors. Aren't they gorgeous? Aren't those gorgeous? And I've got to tap flowers to go with her bouquet. She wants a big, long, streaming bouquet. And of course, here's her veil. And this is the headpiece. I want y'all to see this headpiece. I've got to doctor on it. Okay? Because it just doesn't do justice. We got to have some tatting on this headpiece. Can y'all see that? Isn't that beautiful? And I'm going to put tatting on it, and it's going to fit right at the top of where her bun sits, where the headpiece goes in. And she's a gold jewelry girl. So I got that headpiece because all of her jewelry I'm making is going to be with gold thread. Okay. And yeah, I'm making her jewelry for her. And so yeah, I'm going to be busy. So, but yeah, those flowers are just beautiful flowers. They're silk flowers. And I want to add the lace in there as flowers too. I've got several patterns picked out. Um, Raw, Jennifer Williams Rose is one of them. Hi, Katia. And Lynn Davies did a book way back with flowers in it. And needless to say, I got it and I've been going through it, thumbing my fingers through it, picking out things. Yeah, I got to make the edging on the veil. I got the veil with a silk trim on it, and I can't decide which one I want to use. Whatever I use, it's got to have crystals on it, and it's got to have pearls on it. I've got the pearls. Those came today. They're over there. Here's, see how tiny these things are? They're itty bitties. Okay, they're 15 aughts. And these has got to go on the veil with crystals that are a 2 millimeter crystal. So yeah, that's a whole other thing. But y'all are wonderful. You give me inspiration to do this. I have to tell you. I love it, Katia. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, but yeah, I like Joelle's floret edging, but there's an edging I see in one of the old vintage books that it tweaked my fancy. So I'm gonna play with both of them and see which one I like best, and then hold it on to the veil like it's gonna go, and then I'm going to sporadically add small beads and crystals all throughout the veil. I've got one centerpiece that's going to hang on the bottom of the veil that is vintage applique. So I think that is going to be a beautiful veil when I'm done. I'm going to show y'all everything as I get it done so y'all can see it. My nimble fingers is wanting to get busy. I can't neither, Pam. I really can't. So it'll all come together. So with that, are you all as excited about this pattern today as Kathleen is? We're going to walk you through it. We're not going to do it. There's a couple of things in here that I don't think I have taught you guys that you need to know to do this pattern and to do this pattern justice. Okay, let's get real. We want it nice and parquet. I can see this, Kathleen, as sun catcher. I see it as a sun catcher. You put crystals in here. Oh my gosh, the glitter it's going to put off in the sun. That's what my thoughts are. And you can get crystals in the 8mm to go in the center. That would really. It can stop at round 3 as well. Yeah, I can see that, but I'm sorry, but this is what intrigues me. All this extra stuff out here, that intrigues me. That makes it delicate. It's the best word I can come up with. I know there's one better, but this gives it the pizzazz that it needs to catch your eye. Because what round 3 is just, you see it a lot in a lot of patterns. But when you take it one step further with the Josephine knots, that just knocks it out of the ballpark. That's just my opinion. I'm sure everybody here will agree with it. So that's not a good size thread to refresh your memory with. I'm just saying. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Carol. Glad y'all could make it. So Kathleen is here to answer any questions y'all might have. We're going to do a quick walkthrough, but I'm going to show you something that I haven't went over with this with y'all in a long time. I did it years ago, umpteen gazillion years ago. Yeah, we're just starting, hun. And there is, when you hear the alarm go off, that's when we take a pill and class gets started. Yeah, I live by all this stuff. So now my phone is on do not disturb. It is a beautiful piece. It is. It's gorgeous. All right. First of all, Pam said, if any of you all got 2 emails today, let her know. Okay. She's got you in both email programs and she doesn't want to send you but one. She doesn't want to overmail you. Okay. So make sure you let her know if you got 2 emails today. Is that right, Pam? Okay, there it is. There's your explanation from Pam. Okay, now, if y'all got questions today with this pattern, make sure you put it in big bold print, big letters, so that we can see it. It's easier. Okay, when we get a bunch of students in here, it's hard to find them questions. I missed a couple Sunday. I'm sorry. Didn't see them. They hide in with the rest of the stuff. Okay, let's do a read through on this pattern. Then hi Esther. Then I'm going to go over some things with you on the techniques and the verbiage that she is using. Now, let me give you food for thought, folks. All designers have their own way of talking about their pattern. They may not use standard terms because there's not a standard term that falls in line for that particular technique that they've either created or seen done, didn't know what the term was. So they all put in their patterns. This little thing here, this is called a legend. If you get a pattern that doesn't have a legend, good luck. You're not going to understand the pattern. If the designer didn't take the time to put a legend in there, be sure not to tat it. Let the designer know she needs to tell you what these terms mean. Happy birthday, Esther. How young are you today? 21? I wish you very, very happy birthday and many more. We hope to have you around for a long time. Okay, now she has I'm going to go to the down shot. It'll be easier to see all this good stuff we're doing. If I can find the right camera. You may hear Dennis, he's working as well. Okay, now if you look over here, she's giving you your bead sizes for the particular size thread you're using. Okay, now whether you realize it or not, and this is a good way to see what I'm talking about. When you're working with one size thread and the pattern calls for another size thread, everything can change. Your stitch count can change. Your bead sizes can change. Everything can change because all of this works together to create the beautiful pattern. Okay? So, with that said, she's got all your bead sizes here. So, if you're working with size 20, okay, I'm going to be working with size 10. But if you're working with size 20, you're going to need an 8mm bead, one. And that's this bead right here. Now, I'm using size 10. Guess what? That just stepped up to a 10mm bead. Okay? Because if you will look, she went from a 6 to an 8. That's 2mm up. Okay? Everything increased. So she increased 1 on this. Increase it 1 if you're going to size 10. If you're going to size 80, you're going to decrease that size. Okay? Hi, Fred. So, think about this. Now, she says you're going to use the same amount of seed beads. But if you step up in size to a 10, you better add some more seed beads. Because a 10 thread takes up a lot more space than a 20 or a 40. Okay? Just think of it this way. Size 10 Elizabeth thread is the same size as size 10 crochet cotton. You know, the Ant Lady is we play with. It's the same size. Now, if you're crocheting with it with a crochet hook, excuse me, to do fine crochet, guess what? That's what this is for, fine crochet. If you are using size 8 pearl cotton, remember it's bigger. So when you go big or go home, is what they say. Okay? If you go smaller, you go smaller with the thread, you go smaller with everything else. So keep that in mind. You have to plan ahead when you're dealing with beads and thread changes. Okay. The next thing she's got, and that I love this. Okay. Sue, I wished all our designers went through your class. I'm just saying, this is the most well-written pattern I've seen in a while. Okay. And I'm telling the truth. I've seen patterns. I'm like, how are we going to figure this one out? But you learned this from Sue. She's teaching a lot of good stuff in there. Okay. I told you, anybody wants to be a designer, go to Sue. Don't ask me for design advice. I am not a designer. I can tell you what would look good in a design, but how to do it, no, forget it. I can't do it. My brain just doesn't wrap around it all that well. Hi, Teresa. All right, folks, let's all give Bennett a hello. Hi, Bennett. Hope school was fun today. And also, let's all say hi to Mary Jane. Hi, Mary Jane. We love you. And everybody say hello to Georgia. She's watching today. Special treat to y'all. Awesome. All right. Now, let's move on. Abbreviations and symbols. Now, in here, she's got the abbreviations are listed here, and what they mean is listed here. That is your legend. Right there. That's your legend. Okay? And when you come over here, she goes even further. The techniques. Hi, Harola. Hi, Joan. Hi, Helene. Lord, full house today. All right. So you've got your techniques over here. Now, most of these techniques we've done in class. All right. We have videos on most of these techniques. If you have one of these techniques you benefited from her lock joins video this week. Mary, I have to tell you, that wasn't Georgia. That was me. Georgia didn't make those videos that are up on the class site, and they're not the ones that are up under her name. Those are the videos I made for her for the classes when she was teaching classes. So there you go. Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, everybody just, and I have to correct them. There's a story about that. I went to Tat Days one year, and Georgia cornered me, and she says, we've got to end this. And I said, what are you talking about? She says, can you please tell people who you are and who I am, because they tell me I'm not Georgia. And I looked at her and I started laughing because it's funny. It was a game. Okay, for a long time it was a game, but they came up to her because they'd asked for her to meet her and thank her, and they came up to her, and you're not Georgia. That's not Georgia's hands, and you ain't got Georgia's voice. And the truth be told, it wasn't Georgia, it was me. So I had to go out and tell people, and the minute I spoke, people recognized who I was. I didn't show my face, and I didn't put my name on the videos for years because Georgia taught me, and everything I know came straight from Georgia's lips to my ears. And I didn't take credit for something I didn't know without her help. And I didn't think it was right to take credit for something that I didn't know without her help. So by all rights, I did the right thing and gave all the credit to her. And I had to take credit eventually. It was about 7 years into it that I had to finally take credit. So, yeah. It was fine while it lasted. But, I'm not Georgia. And I said that many times on many of those videos. But I am so glad it helped you, Mary. All right. Back to the pattern. All right. Now, the continuous thread method. Folks, if it's continuous thread method, let me show you something here. That means the thread is one solid thread. Now, can this be a solid thread if it's cut and a knot in it? Yes, it can, but you got to hide your ends. It is still continuous thread method. All right? You just got to break in a knot and you got to take care of it. But it's continuous thread. Now, if you're working with beads, I advise, hear me carefully, I very seriously advise, don't tie a knot in this thread. Okay, make it solid thread all the way across, because if you do, you're going to get yourself into a jam because those beads don't slide back and forth across that knot. So remember, use continuous thread method when you're working with beads. Make a note of that in your notebooks. All right, do that. The next thing that she's got is a self-closing mock ring. Remember, you wrap the finger. You're doing actually a chain, but you've got a little loop-de-doo down here. That's where you can close it and make it a ring. That video is up on the channel. It's also up on Georgia's channels. Okay. The mock picot. Okay, I've showed you that. The first half is a regular double half stitch. The second half is a lock stitch. Locks that picot in, keep it from slipping and sliding and doing all goofy things. So make sure you get that half stitch locked. Okay, ring on ring tatting. We've done it. It's a chain with a thrown off ring, and it's a self-closing mock ring, so therefore it's ring on ring tatting. All right, now they do have a technique that you can do ring on ring tatting on a ring, an actual ring, by using the thread. I have not got a video up on it yet. I will eventually get a video up on it. Right now we're just honing in on the common techniques tatters use. All right, down join, been there, done that one. Folded join, been there, done that one. Lock join, been there, done that one. Though that is a shuttle lock join or a lock join. Call it anything you want. Shuttle join. That's when you're using your working shuttle, drawing your thread through the picot, running your shuttle through the thread, and pulling it tight, and it locks it in. It doesn't move. It locks the position. Okay. Wow. That is awesome. That is awesome. Now, the next thing is Josephine knot. Pam calls them little balls of torture. Okay. I'm sure Katia has that same term. To needle tatters, the Josephine knot can be a pill, but I got news for you. It's more of a pill for shuttle tatters, because you untwist your thread as you're tatting that Josephine knot. Hi, Janella, because all you're doing is working 1/2 stitch. And every time you go across, you have to roll that thread back around. So when you do that, you are taking that twist out of your thread. Okay, so be careful when you're working this using a shuttle. Be careful. Remember, it's going to pull the twist out of your thread, so you want to put it back in. Okay, and you can do it. Okay. Reverse order of double stitches, rods. That means second half first, first half second. Okay, remember there's 2 half stitches to a double stitch. All right, now let's see who all. Eastland, you haven't been here before. I'm so glad you came. Is there anything in particular that you would like for us to share with you that you do not know about this pattern that you need to know? Let us know. Yeah, I know, but to a new needle tatter, yeah, it can get rough too. All right, Eastland, it's the first time you're here. Awesome, awesome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so glad you came. Anytime you have a question, pop it out there. We'll grab it. We'll answer it. All right, and today's pattern is listed under the video, as well as it's up in the very beginning of the chat. You can get the pattern off of our website and try it for yourself. If you're a beginner tatter, let me know. We'll get you caught up real fast. All right, so let's move on to page 2 of this pattern. This is another deal on this pattern that I am loving. Okay, now you see how she's got all these beautiful diagrams in here. She's pointing you right through the pattern. She is driving it home. Okay, She's showing you how it's supposed to look on your beads are supposed to look on your thread. She's showing you everything you need to know. This is a very well written pattern, even though there are techniques in here that are more advanced. A beginner could possibly do this pattern because of how in depth she went with this pattern on her diagrams and her explanations. Look at this. There's round 2. You learn both reading a pattern and reading a diagram. Okay. Me, I have books, okay, that I use all the time. Okay. I have patterns in here. All these are patterns that you use or you buy, okay, or they're patterned from websites. Now, Daniela Mendola, she is one of my favorite tatters. Okay. She's got a website and she offers these beautiful doilies that she does as patterns, and you can copy and print them, whatever. Okay, go to her site. She gives you the written, but some of her patterns even have diagrams. Okay, right here, see, you can get the diagrams to go with it. And you notice I've got the diagrams. What I do, because we travel, is I take the patterns that I want to do, I put them in one of these books. I just glue the instructions down in the book. And then I take the book on the road with me. Okay. And I can open it up to what I want to do and do the pattern while I'm riding down the road. And it works. It works. So, it's easy for me that way, but I do diagrams better than the written. You can't sit here and read this going down the road. Okay. It will give you a headache. Trust me. In a car, it'd be different, but in a truck, no, you getting beat to death. So I like the diagrams because I can glance at it and I can say, okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picots. I've got 4 stitches between them. This right here is this. I can see that diagram that fast, and I know exactly what I'm going to do. Exactly, it is a better pattern than most patterns you see. You get books that the patterns are so poorly written, you've wasted your money. Okay. And myself, I have bought books, wasn't so much for the pattern, it's for the techniques. Okay. And it's because I don't know how many people have come up with techniques for a Catherine Willard join and renamed it 15 names. Okay. Now, we don't have set in stone terms other than the basic terms that everybody knows. They've been around since ancient times. Okay. There's a lot of new techniques, and people will change a couple of ways you do it and call it a new term. And it's the same technique. And that to me is, what are you doing? You're confusing everyone. That's why I go to the diagrams, because those people will put it in here of 18 paragraph way to do a self-closing mock ring and not call it a self-closing mock ring. Okay, I'm just saying. And that is like, you're wasting paper, you're wasting time. Go to the diagrams. If you learn the diagrams, bonus. You can design, but you can't make diagrams. Harala, that's fine. Your designs are beautiful. Monique did Harala's designs. She did a lot of Harala's designs. Let's see. Right, Eastland. Don't be scared of diagrams. Fall in love with the diagrams. It will make your life so much more simpler. I'm being serious. Now, here we get in here. We got round 2. Let's go on to round 3. Okay, this is where confusion lends its way into, I'm going to slingshot my shuttles and my beads and everything's going flying because I'm fighting with this thread. And that's where I step in. I'm going to show you about how all these beads work on your shuttles. Okay. Now, the trefoil here. that is 3 beads on 1 picot, and it will come on the picot. I'm going to show you how you get that. Okay, what reverse works are same as reverse. Oh, yeah, RW. Yes, reverse work is the same thing as RW. It's just abbreviated term. Okay, now back to the 3 bead. You see, I got some beads in this little cup. I did that because I've chased beads for 2 days. Yes, Mia has even helped me chase beads for 2 days. My little doggy. For those of you that are new, I've got a little Malshi, and she's like 10 pounds of trouble, and she gets into everything. All right, you see how these beads are? Now, if this was on a picot, these 3 beads would all be on that picot. Okay, let me zoom in on that just a hair, if I can get it to go. All right, there we go. See them? And that's the way they'll sit on there. And you are going to have to learn to adjust them on your picot to get them to stand that way. If you are using round beads, it's a pill to get them to stand that way, but it can be done. Use your crochet hook. Manipulate those beads to sit like they're supposed to. Okay? Now, let me show you this. And I'm going to show you how we come to this. And if you plan on using beads, get your pen and paper out. Okay? Hi, Atlier. So glad you came. All right, get your pen and your paper out, folks. Let me show you this. All right, you see my little picots here and my little beads. All right, this bead over here, this one right here, is on the picot. This bead here is over the picot, and this bead is on the core thread. Now, the way your beads are going to come off are the same way for ring and chain. Okay? Beads that are going to be on the picot are going to come from your ball thread or your second shuttle. Beads on the picot with this little paper clip, you pull your picot, you put your bead on, you put the paper clip over to hold its place and move on. Okay? Beads that fit here on the core thread come from this shuttle right here. Has everybody got that? Load the shuttle and tell us to drop it when winding it. Yeah. There we go. All right, now let's go ahead and we're going to do, let's do a chain. All right, now we're going to do 3 double stitches and a picot on a chain, but that bead is coming up on that picot. All right, so we're going to put in our first half, second, that's 2 and 3. Now we're going to pull a bead up through here. I have beads on here. They're down there, and your beads will work their way to the back end regardless of what you do. All right. Right. Beads and needle, Katia will teach you. She is the needle teacher. I will not step on Katia's toes. I know how to tap with the needle. It's just, yeah, needles and I are dangerous. I'm just saying. So, now let me put in a double stitch so I can show you that. Now, this bead, let it focus, is sitting on that top part of the picot. What you got to do to get that bead to lay right is you've got to manipulate it to get it to sit right. Otherwise, oh, I'm out of shot. Sorry. All right, you got to work with it to get it to sit right on top of that picot. Otherwise, it's going to sit off to the left or it's going to sit off to the right. So make sure before you go any further, after you've put this stitch in, fix that bead on the picot. Okay? Now, the reason I'm telling you all these little goodies is because spring's coming. A lot of you are going to be doing work for the county fairs and entering it in competitions. They're going to check for stuff like this. You want the best foot forward on your work. All right, so this is a little trick. Adjust that bead, because once you get all your stitches in and you pop that chain curvature in, it's going to tighten everything up and it will hold. All right, so let's go on and put 2 more double stitches in. Okay, now this bead is going to go on this thread because we're going to pull a picot, but we're going to grab a bead right here. Okay, it will be a loose bead. All right, let's see if we can get this to work right for us. Catching beads. That's what we're doing, catching beads. Now, put the bead on your crochet hook. Hold that bead, grab your thread. Work it up and keep playing with it till it comes through that hole. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This can get tedious. It's another one of them tedious problems. Pull it through. Once you get it through, work that thread. It didn't catch. Ah! Does not like me. Does not like me. You said needle was harder. Try this. All right, we got her on there. Now, after you pull that off, you grab your paper clip, bulb pin, safety pin, whatever you want to use, drop it on there. Pull it down, lock it in until that paper clip sits straight up. Okay, we're going to pull it down tight. Got it. See? There. So we got that one on the picot. Okay. Now, we're going to put one on the core thread. Now, how are we going to do that? We're going to pull it from here. So let's get our 3 double stitches. 1, 2, and 3. Now it's time to put a bead down there. Now pull it back. Yeah, I got beads on here. I roll my beads back further on my shuttle than I need to, because you don't want them dropping down. They get on your nerves. At least they do mine. I don't know about y'all, but they do on mine when they roll down in my way. So I shove them real far back. Now I'm going to pull a bead, tighten up my shuttle. There's a lot of this that goes on. I do advise, if you're going to do this, use a bobbin shuttle. I do have bobbin shuttles. Okay, but I never even give it a thought. I just grabbed what I had on a shuttle and said, let's go with it. All right. Now, we've got our threads. Let's put this back in the loom. All right, now watch. We take that down right there. Y'all see that? It's on the core thread. Hold it tight in the pinch. Put your first double stitch in. 1, and there's the second half. And you can see it's on the core thread. It is no different on the ring than the chain. There's no difference. You want it on the core thread, it's coming from this shuttle. You want it on the picot, it comes from the picot itself. Okay? You want it in the or on the picot like this, to where it's the picot. You want it to come from this hand. All right, has everybody got that? Y'all got that? So, there you go. Now, as you see, she's got beads here coming off the picot. She's got these beads the 3. I showed you how to set them up. You put 3 beads on that picot. So when you're pulling for this first picot here, you're going to pull 3 beads or 2 beads. The bottom one, let's see. No, she's got all 3 on the picot. So there you go. Isn't that right, Kathleen? On this part here, that all 3 of these beads come in on the picot. Not any of them are on the core thread, correct? If you have one on the core thread, you would pull from both this shuttle and your ball thread or your second shuttle. Okay. I'll wait for Kathleen to catch up. Okay, 3 on the picot. All right. So, same here. We got 3 on the picot. Then she's got a join here, it looks like. And then down here, we've got 2 on the core thread. Let me get it up here. Let me zoom this back out. Take this back out. Just a hair. Oh, wrong way. Sorry. Didn't make y'all dizzy. All right. This right here is on the core thread. Am I correct? This would be a good one for you to teach tomorrow, Katia, while it's still fresh on their minds. Okay, so these are on the core thread. This one's on the core thread. And this one's on the core thread. Yeah, shuttle 1's core thread. Shuttle 1's this one. The one that's doing all this. This one's doing the sewing machine part. Thank you for that, Harola. I had forgotten. You said that once before, and I had forgotten it, and I wanted to remember it. Yeah, my memory is getting just rank. Let's just put it that way. Okay. Now, let's move on. Here is our Josephine knots. Okay. Pam, it's your little lumps of torture. She loves them. She loves the looks of them. She hates doing them on the needle. All right. Yellow beads are shuttle 1. Or shuttle B. No. Shuttle B. You mean shuttle 2? Or ball thread? Okay. And then shuttle 1 is the yellow. Okay. So these would all come from this side, and the pink ones would come from this side. You love doing Josephine knots? I do. I like doing Josephine knots and Josephine chains on a needle. Now, if I did this pattern, that's why I didn't choose to do the pattern. For me to make it and look at it and see it for what it truly is, I would be threading and unthreading my shuttles, okay, to use a needle. So I'm just telling you, I like it better on needle. Now, for those of you that really thoroughly love diagrams like me, for me to take this with me on travel, I would cut this whole thing out and I would put it in my book. And this would go with me. I don't need the paper instructions. You will talk. Okay, I didn't catch that last sentence, Kati. I'm sorry. You have a special class tomorrow. Awesome. Sue, what you teaching this week? You'll take notes about doing the pattern. Okay. Don't you love spell check? I mean, I adore it with a passion. All right, now for one more thing before we end up ending the class, I want to show you guys something. There was a lady, and I don't know if she's in class or not, today on, I think it's Tatting and Chatting group on Facebook, and she was having some difficulty. She watched the video for the folded join, and her folded join kept coming up twisted. Now, most of you that have been in my classes know the trick, okay? And here's the basics of it. If your join twist, odds are you went the wrong direction with your shuttle, okay? The folded join is meant to be folded, okay? And you fold your work, here it is, because I'm joining here to here, all right? So you fold that join over. You come from this side of that picot, the bottom side, down here, up through the picot, twist it, and grab your thread. Then you're going to pull it down through. Everybody see that? Did y'all see that? I'm going to do it again. Because if she's watching, I need her to know this. Because she's about ready to throw her shuttles. We don't want people throwing shuttles. We want people enjoying tatting. You're going to come up, watch, right here. I'm going in front of the knuckle, straight up into the picot. Twist that picot, grab the thread. Pull back down through that picot. Take your shuttle, go up through the picot. Everybody got that? Now, when you adjust it with it in its folded position. Then open it up and turn that piece around. Adjust the final bit and put in your remaining double stitches, which is 5. It's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? Once you get the 5th one in, grab your ring or your chain, whatever you're joining with, and pull it closed. Just keep pulling it until it's closed tight. Okay? There you go. And it's not twisted. Let me get it up here for you guys. You can see that it's not twisted. You can see the gap between the two. Not a twisted sister there. All right? I think it was tatting and chatting. Yeah, folded joins they tend to be difficult for people. Let me switch the view now. Let's go back to, there we go. So, any questions you got? I'm here to answer. We all understand how those beads have to feed on the shuttle. Now, because she used so many different colors, her legend here for the order the beads go in is right there. See it right there. That's your legend for the beads. Now, for those of you that in the future are going to attempt to do a Nina Libin pattern, good luck. Her legends are very easy to follow. Her patterns, if you focus and pay attention, you can do them. And then try it. She does Benal lace. I know I said that wrong. Okay. Yeah, my tongue doesn't work right with weird words. Okay, I'm just saying. But you all can do those. Don't think you can't. Don't ever say you can't. I'm going to tell you something I learned many moons ago. Cat never did do nothing in its life. And it never will. Think about that. Every time you say can't, it puts a barrier in front of you. Automatically, you got a barrier in front of you. Don't let that happen. Don't. Don't let fear stop you. You're going to make mistakes. I don't cut out the mistakes I make. I make them right on camera. Okay. And I'll also show you how to take them out, because you're going to make those same mistakes. Not once, not twice, not 3 times. You're probably going to make them 50 times in your history of tatting. I mean, well-versed tatters that have been tatting for 40 years make those mistakes. It happens. Let it happen. It's part of the process. I guess so when it happens, I'm like, okay, great. We get to rip you out. Just don't want to tear up my thread. Okay. I laugh about it. And you should too. And this pattern is going to test your skills, because there's so many different techniques and you're dealing with beads. So my advice, tat it once without the beads so you're prepared for what comes up. Then tat it with beads. Have thread on the side that is junk thread. Don't use your expensive thread. Tat it with the cheap stuff. Move to the expensive thread and the beads for the final piece. It's beautiful either way. Okay? It is. Test yourself. Try it. I want to see what you do. Post your work on the group. I see it. Don't think I don't. Every time one of you all posts something in the group, my phone dings. And it lets me know you got something to look at. And I look at it. Now, if my hands are tied up in something else, I'll hit the like and it'll be a heart. Because I don't care what you tat and tatting, I love it. Okay? I mean, tatting is my breath for the day. Okay? I don't care how stressed or how nervous I am, tatting can calm me in about 2.2 seconds. So that's why I tat when we're on the road. So let's see. Mary, you're going to do this. I know you will. Well, Kathleen, you did a wonderful job. I know she will, Katia. You're going to get her to do it, aren't you? All right, folks, don't forget Katia's class tomorrow. You'll learn a lot in her needle classes, okay? Now, she knows some tricks in needle I couldn't teach you. Then Thursday, we got Sue, her design class. Make sure y'all go to her design classes, because there is so much that she can teach you. She is a mountain of knowledge. Okay? So go absorb that knowledge from her. Increase your brain power. We need designers and we need teachers. By the way, we've put out all calls again for guest teachers. If you would like to teach a class, we supply the pathway. All you got to have is a phone and a computer. We do the rest for you. And you can come guest teach a pattern. Now, if it is not your personal pattern, you need to have permissions to use that pattern to teach it in the classes, and I will need to get those permissions from you so that I can produce them for YouTube. Make sure you hit that like button, that notification bell, and that subscribe button. Also, we run strictly on donation. If you feel you've garnered any information or knowledge from these classes, make sure you donate to the classes. If you can't financially donate, make sure you watch the commercials on the videos, because we do draw money off of those. We also have super thanks, super stickers, and super chats. You're welcome to use any of those. We do not do memberships because you have to pay monthly on memberships, and we don't require you to pay anything for these classes. So therefore, we won't never do memberships on these classes. That's a guarantee. So with that said, if you can donate financially on our webpage at theonlinetattingclass.com, you will see a donate button. You can punch that button and it'll take your donation right there. It'll go into a PayPal account that pays out the bills for these classes. We pay for the setup for the videos. We pay for the StreamYard, which, by the way, folks, it went up to $481 this year. So yeah, that's a big pill for me to have to swallow. I am shopping around, but StreamYard so far is the best one I've found that works for what we do. And have no fear, the classes will not end. Okay, but we've got to visit around and see what else we can find. We pay for the website, and I do, one-on-one classes with students that are having a hard time, want to play catch up. Those I do not charge for. Everything is given to you freely. So we ask you to at least, at the very least, watch the commercials so that we can get paid our pennies on the dollar. So, yes, I know. Dennis found out the problem. Have you all had a problem when your computer updates, it changes settings? Because it changed the settings on my mic and it put an echo and it made it sound like I was in a tunnel. He figured it out. It took forever. He had to hunt for China to get it, but he got it fixed. So there you go. Yeah, go check out Kathleen's channel. And Kathleen, send me a link so I can add that to our list of YouTube channels on the website, please, my dear. You have a lot to offer to the tatting community, and we love to share. All right. Is there any questions, folks? Yeah, we love those updates. No, no. Every time it updates, it's like, please, can you just leave well enough alone? I'm not tech savvy. My husband, he's a guru. He works with Medicare and he handles the Medicare account for the whole United States. So, yeah, he's got to know his stuff. So, well, you're welcome, RD. I'm glad you come. I'm glad all you came. Y'all make my day. You put a smile on my face and you make my heart sing. Especially when y'all show me your work. So make sure you post it in the group. Can't wait to see it. You're welcome, Jeremy. Thank you for coming. We'll be heading down to your neck of the woods before long. Yeah, Katia's website or YouTube channel is Tatting Muse. She trained here. We give her about a year and she started really taking off. So she graduated to her own channel. I give people an opportunity to try it before they buy it, in other words. And, we encourage everyone, go out, get your own YouTube channel, start teaching, open a guild. I mean, you can do a lot of things. So no questions? None at all? No. Sue is at StreamYard on YouTube for her design class. Oh, thank you, Katia, for attending. It's good that you can come in here because when there's needle questions, I can't answer them because they're always way above my level. I should say above my pay grade, but I don't get paid. So everything's above my pay grade. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Katia. And Sue's classes are really fun. Sue's a lot of fun. Don't let her sell you short. She is. She's a lot of fun. So with that, I'm going to end the class and I will see you guys next week. Hopefully. I get my first doctor with appointment with my specialist next Wednesday. Wish me luck and they get the right medicine for me. You're welcome, Mavis. You're welcome, Carol. Thank you, Harold, and thank you for coming. Bye, Mary. Kathleen, send me that link to your YouTube channel to the class email, and I'll get that up on the website. Right now, I have to go bag beads. Actually, unbag beads. I think it will. I think it will. We're on the right path now. Yeah, because I'll be so glad to get rid of some of this medicine that I'm on now. Mijo, I didn't know that. Did y'all catch that? Mm-hmm. Thank you, Yvonne. All right, folks, I'm out of here. You all have a wonderful rest of your week. Don't forget Katia and Sue's classes Wednesday and Thursday. And I will see you next week. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. And if it's cold in your neck of the woods, stay warm. All right. Love y'all. And I will see you next Tuesday. Have a great one. Bye bye.